Sunday, and I was minding my own business, happily taping the making of the new workbench, when a ridiculous deal showed up on Craigslist. And I managed to catch it within just a few minutes of it being posted, and they had a phone number, so here it is. Nice little guy here. This definitely was not a lathe by any means, and after working with it, you'll see all the different things in the video here of rebuilding it, tearing it down. The guy I know was definitely ripping me off, he thought. So finally got another lathe. I can do all the nice little chamfering to any dimension I want now. It's really good, nice, wonderful lathe. But it's all about the compound. End of story. I worked on this all day Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And the entire day Wednesday was on the compound. I just finally got it to start cutting and turning, but it just didn't sound right. And long story short, it was really a trick. It turned out, well, they had 3 holes in the gib for the gib screws, and they're just done with the regular drill bits, or they're a point, and there's no way that's going to work. It's just going to keep falling back in the same spot. Took the gib out, flipped it over, put it in the mill, ran like a 1/8 end mill to make a nice little groove in the middle of it for the set screw, or the gib screw, to stay put so it wouldn't slide back and forth. Put it in there, and things just kept locking up. What wound up happening was the end piece here, this guy, whenever I tightened that down, the gib was actually poking out a little bit too far. When I tightened that down, I thought it was jamming on the lead screw, but it was actually pushing the gib, jamming and locking the whole thing up. So got the gib turned over, got it all buffed up, cleaned up. I now have a nice lathe. So it's interesting looking at the differences between this lathe, which I bought probably 1.5 years ago now, and this one. I don't know how old this lathe is. It's an exact same one, because the newer ones, the rotation dial, I know it's plastic, and these both are metal. It doesn't have a serial number on it, so that's really interesting. And bottom line, the quality is much better on this lathe than when I bought this one. So it is the luck of the draw, what you get. Anybody out there thinking about buying a lathe, you don't know what you're going to get. So enjoy the video, guys. Not sure how much light that is, but let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Yeah. New addition to the shop, Craigslist. Wow. The ad said it was used for 1 hour, maybe. I don't think so, but out of the, yeah, classic for someone who isn't familiar with these things, because he's got this so tight that you can't really, you gotta crank to get things to go. So all I cared about was you just turn it, yep, okay, it turns, plug it in, it rotates, so the motor and the controller's good. Something's scraping, and I can see it now, is the back black cover is bent in against the motor gear, and it won't, I think he may have stripped the gear in here out, because you can't get it in the high gear. I guess he figured he was ripping me off because he started throwing in all kinds of things. So there's boxes here of cutters that he got, C6, and he's had somebody that knew what they were doing, because these are turned down. Somebody put these on a mill, and I can see all the marks and stuff on it. It's like, wow. So, but the cute thing too is it came with the A2Z2 post and all of the holders. But what I never realized before in looking at the pictures is this is Now you can see it up there. That's mine for the Harbor Freight, and these are the other ones. They're like little guys. Every time I look at the pictures of the A to Z, you'd think it's full size, but no, they're really small. So that's why he had to turn down all these bits here to be able to fit into the set. So I have an A to Z tool post, quick change tool post. It'll be interesting to see how it works. I don't know what all this is. He's got some kind of added his own. I think that's his own washers. I don't think that's what came with the kit, but I have the original tool post that came with it. Oh, that's curious. What are these? What's the size of these? Wait, sharp. These guys, anyway. So this is caliper. This thing, huh? I want the thickness of it. 1/2 inch. So these are going to be way too high. What did he turn it down to anyway? Where's the one that's cut down? He cut it down to 360. So looking at some of the chips that are left in here, he wasn't getting very good cuts at all. And that's probably why he wanted to dump this thing. Figured he's ripping me off. So he started throwing in all kinds of stuff. I've got huge... Let's put this away. There's a 6 foot 5/8 rod of brass over there. Another piece of brass. And all kinds of stuff. He just kept throwing it in there. Plastic, jeez. And there's a whole bunch more. Plastic, brass, steel, aluminum. Whole deal was $200. So this is going to be a complete tear down and rebuild. So I'm looking forward to it though. I finally got another lathe, so I can leave one with ER32s and the other with a 3-jaw in it. I don't know what I'm going to do with this chuck, but I do have all the jaws, and I don't know why he has the outside jaws in it rather than the inside. I don't think he used the inside because they're sitting here and they're all loaded with the grease and stuff, so they've never been touched. Same way the tool post, the original tool post, has got the whatever that ugly grease is all over it. So stickers coming loose. So I don't know how long this has been sitting around. There's quite a bit of just dust on it, but I'm pleased that it's not really all super rusted, so I can clean all of that up. Alright, I just wanted to share this Craigslist find and the project that I'm going to be doing for a while. I was just thinking, taking this thing apart so far. Now this is a piece of cake if you know what you're doing, of course. And I can see why a lot of people turn to YouTube to try to see videos on this, but so far, yeah, just taking the chuck off, it was put on it with a ridiculous amount of force. I had to really get in there and lean on it to break it free. That was the first problem. The whole compound looks clean. I think I lucked out. I think this is actually better quality than the one I bought, the first one. This is all machined really well, and now that I have a granite surface, I can actually check and just see how nice this is. The gib screws on the compound, yep, still have the square shoulder. I haven't pulled the gib out. Let me pull it now and see. Bet you it's got dents in it from the gib screws, which keep screwing up the adjustment. The gibs, yeah, oh, he had them all incredibly tight. Come on out. Man, coming out. Why is that stuck in there? Yep, they got pockets in there. What do they look like? 3 holes drilled. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. So that's gonna keep shifting the wrong spot, so I'll have to re-drill that with an end mill and get it into a better hole and then make the gib screws round on the tip. What else was there? Oh yeah, the apron. Because I never wanted to take mine back apart to show people this stuff. This is what I had made, a little piece of plastic. Very thin plastic, as you can see. The chips are getting in here. They're also down in here. He had them all in the jaws and stuff. But this is where I'm saying there's nothing supporting. There's a gib here, there's a gib screw here, and there's one underneath this. But if you push this one in, there's nothing here to keep it held. So it just starts wandering all over the place. And I had machined a block to go in there. And this time I'll make one and I'll do the document for it, so everybody will know the dimensions on it. But this is looking pretty, everything's looking good on it. Even the ways, yeah, they're like beautifully ground. I can see some, it looked like it was rubbing on the whole surface evenly. So far the teardown's pretty good. This is all beautifully machined. And all of the plastic gears, you know, I have to pull them all out, but so far it's really nice teardown. The saddle itself, I gotta clean it up, but the saddle looks like it's really well machined too. So I'm very pleased with what I've got. And oh yeah, I'm looking down in the grooves here for the ways. These look really nice. Bummer is I'm going to have to be building all the parts all over again. You know, new knobs, handles, this, the lockdown for the tailstock. So that's just a quick update, guys. Glad I'm following my own advice on the teardown. The big 60-tooth gear, really hard to get off. It does come off, I know, from mine. Felt like I was going to break it getting it off, but I got it off. And yes, the one famous bushing had no grease on it, the one that wears and welds itself in there. The timing belt, yeah, was loose and it was rubbing up against the headstock, so it's a matter of time till that was destroyed. Unfortunately, the scraping from this back cover was rubbing, like I said, against the motor gear. And it's really scraped it bad. It's gouged into it. It's still fine, but it must have come out of the box that way and been scraping all that time. But what gets me, oh yeah, the belt was super loose. I could just pull it right off. But listen to this. That does not sound good. There's no belt on it. That's just the gear inside and this. So, boy, it's going to be interesting now taking this off and see what's wrong inside. There's the head all put back together. The noise in there turned out to be the motor pulley, the pulley on the intermediate shaft for the drive belt was pushed on too hard and it was loading the bearing sideways, causing a problem. And I think I said there was no grease at all in there. What else did I do? Adjusted the motor so the belt isn't rubbing against the side. All the gears are back, gapped nicely. 4-inch 4-jaw chucks on it. Hums beautifully. It actually has 0 vibration. My lathe has very slight vibration. I don't know why this is not, and mine has something. But this is really nice. It's quiet, it's smooth. You can see there's no rubbing, you can just turn it. The chuck was, it was really hard to move and a problem. I've never taken a chuck this far apart, but I took it completely apart, including the scroll out of it. Cleaned it all up, greased all the little pinion gears or whatever they are. And I put this plastic back in, which has got 3 prongs that go down in, and I guess it pushes the scroll down. It was really rough and had burrs all over it, and that's what was causing it to be so tough to turn. Cleaned up all the jaws, and this is really a nice chuck now. So it moves real smooth, all greased up. And I think this is a, you know, like I say, it's a luck of the draw. We wound up with a nice smooth machine, bad belt, bad assembly bearing. The back cover was all banged in and scraping on everything, so they pulled it out and hammered it back nice and straight. Better chuck. The chuck actually just says LG in here. So this is really a nice 3-inch chuck. I like this one a lot. This is better than the one that came with my Harbor Freight. So now it'll be onto the compound, the saddle compound, all that good stuff. Let's see how that comes out. Messing with this saddle, like, wow, how they did this. I don't think mine had these little set screws on it, but they bolt this in place. Those are dead center to this, so what happens is this winds up pivoting. You never really get these bolts tight, so this will never stay put. So I wound up building my little gadget here. These are a little bit smaller than the print. Those are 832 set screws in there. I got carried away. I didn't need the center hole, and then I had to turn down the bolts because it's 3/8 end mill went in there. So they sink in there nice and perfectly flush. It clears. So I'm going to test it on here, but oops, wrong wrench. I don't know where the Allen went. Oh, here it is. Yeah. So this should be just fine. Why is that not going in? Why is that tightening up? That one goes in. Alright, probably chip some crud in the hole. I have to chase the threads. Yeah, these all go down. See, it locks down nicely. Whatever is this guy's problem. There, it's going in. Just junk. Alright, so that should clear it. Let me see if I can just get it to slide on there. Yep, it clears it. Bring the camera down. So, there's a little bit of play in it, but when I put the ball bearings in there and the set screw, that'll take care of this, the front end. I'll just deal with the back, get rid of this stupid thing, and just keep the back as is for now, because I can easily get to that. Well, the front's the problem. Once the apron's on the thing, you can't get in there to do anything and adjust it. So progress so far. Look at that, man. It slides nice. That wouldn't move before. Now I can push. It just couldn't do it. Alright, quick update. Well, so far so good. My saddle clamp is in there. I forgot to machine the little U piece for the gear here, so I had to take it all apart. The apron, this handle was like impossible to clamp down. It was so hard. Took it all apart. I had to put this in the lathe because the surfaces were just nasty. And sanded them 1600 grit, smooth them down, grease it up. What else did I do? I didn't bother making the block that goes in there. The screw that's out here, which has the spring and the ball bearing for this guy, was cranked all the way in, so it was making it ridiculous to turn the handle. So backed that out and got it all back together. Then this guy was making all kinds of weird noises, metal scraping. The shaft here, the actual lead screw, again, surfaces were disgusting, especially a bottom face. So 1600 grit, cleaned it all up, made it nice and smooth, greased it. Still slight noise, so back here at the base, put a load of beeswax in there to smooth it out. So this should be nice here over time. This will break in. I ran a drill on it, in and out, in and out. Gibbs I haven't done much with. This guy, the part under here that rotates, same thing. It was actually oversized. I don't know how they got it up into this part. So I had to put that in the lathe and just turn a couple of thousandths off of it. Now if I loosen these, it spins nice and easy and clean. But look at this thing here. That's a problem. So I've got to machine something here that's gonna so this won't scrape on this, but I don't want this much play, so this needs like a washer back here to take that. How are you gonna do that? How did I do that? because that's going to permanently scrape. The only way this stays back is when this handle pushes this up. Oh, I don't remember the other one being like this. Because yeah, it doesn't hit anything there. That is a problem. I think I wound up putting a teeny brass washer in here to reduce the friction. I must have. So I need to get a lot of that play out of there. And then machine the little spacer thing that goes here. Actually, it doesn't make any difference, but I'll machine one anyway because that's nasty looking. Made this one. This is really nice aluminum. So I'm almost done with this guy and then ready to try machining with it and see what happens. They still had the whatever, I forgot the name of the grease. Yuck. That reddish kind of grease is still all over everything, so every part I'm still cleaning it down and getting rid of it. So that's an update so far. I just need to get some kind of washer in there, a nice little thin brass one. Oil it, and hopefully that takes care of that. Alright, I just wanted to share I got a whole jar here of brass parts washers. The ID was way too small, so a Dremel tool and bring it down. So there's the washer, right on the money. I get it back on there now. Come on, get on there. There. And then this guy, and you can see, beautiful. Grease in there, you won't have any problem. Now I just got to machine this thing so that it's just right. And then I'll get rid of any of that friction and nastiness. So, I don't know how I did this before. Yeah, I guess seems like you need a lathe and a mill to refurbish a lathe. But this is going to be a trick piece to make here. Because that's going to be too far. Boy, is that a tight fit too. Nasty. I had to pry that thing out of there. Okay, so gotta make some measurements. Alright, let's see what happens. First turn with it. I didn't bother really centering that up very well, so it's gonna be off. Clamp that down. I still have to mess with the Gibbs a bunch. Whoa, is that screw way off? That handle should be way over here. So interesting. I don't know if I'm on center or not. Am I on high speed? Yep. Alright, let's see what it's going to do. I'm not on center, I'm above center. I am way above center, so it's not going to cut. I can, just for the heck of it, take this guy down just to get a cut. So my tool, wow, does that look like that's way off? Completely different heights. Is that gonna do it? Interesting. Interesting how far off. That is a mile off. And this thing is just completely different, really. I gotta take it. Oh, I'm not going down any further because I'm hitting the compound, so I can't go down farther. Wow, I wouldn't have thought that there'd be that much difference between lathes that I'm that far off center. I can face, I'm sure. Let's see how it works. Let me plug in some light here, man. There. I should be able to face it. Is that on still? Oh, disturbed the plug. There. Alright. Yep, Open face nicely. Wow. Well, it looks like that's close to center, so I don't know what it did. Not too good of a finish here. I'm hearing roughness in there for some reason. I don't know. I guess I just got to play with it, play with the gibs and stuff. Yeah, I've got some play here in the compound. Well, that was the first cut. That's it. Well, I guess to sum this thing up, wow, it's going to take some time. You know, I'm getting curls off of it. And it could be I rotated the insert here just in case. It cuts, but it sounds more like it's grinding than cutting. So I did do a face. I'm on center. There's no bump there. So yeah, after showing all the different pieces and what was going on, I'm sure this guy figured he was ripping me off. That's why he sold that so cheap. And looking at the tools that he was using, because you can see the marks on it, and he had it cut down from a 1/2 inch, because 1/2 inch with this tool holder couldn't go low enough. And I'm looking at this too, and I don't think he can go low enough, because I'm pretty bottomed out with this quarter inch set before hitting the compound. So I don't think he could turn anything. And I guess I was looking at the chip remnants that were in there too, and yeah, they did not look good. So, and he was picking on aluminum. He also did something to this guy. Somebody bored the bottom out, which was completely wrong, because now you can't clamp it down. So he wound up putting these washers up here. Now the washers are interfering with this. So if you don't want the post to rotate, you clamp this down, but now you can't move this to unlock this. So it's going to take some time here to get the gibs to settle in, fine tune. I may wind up lapping it. I did get this done, and it looks like I've got about 5 thousandths worth of play in here. I could take this down a little bit more, but wow. So second lathe, I just gotta work with it, tweak it and stuff until I get it nice. And I kind of wish I could just swap the tool post, move the other one over here and just cut, but the heights are different. So that's that, guys. And there it is, almost completely done. And in honor of this guy, you can see I made a nice brass knob for it. So there it is.